But the good news is you can still see amazing changes in your physique by avoiding the mistakes I'm about to share in this video. Hey man, Gary Walker here, and welcome back for another video. In today's video, I'm gonna share the worst muscle building mistakes men over 40 makes. Here's the thing, I've been a fitness coach for over 25 years, and the 4 mistakes I'm about to give you are the most common I've seen over that 25-year period. Quickly, before I get started sharing the worst mistakes that men make, I want you to click the link below this video to download our free Ripped in 6 workouts. We've included a dozen 6-minute workouts that will help you get in shape fast and can be done anywhere. So just click on the link below in the description box and we will send those to you. I know I'm not telling you anything you didn't already know, but as you get older, your body changes, man. And after turning 40, you can't train the same way you did in your 20s. But the good news is you can still see amazing changes in your physique by avoiding the mistakes I'm about to share in this video. All right, the number 1 mistake, and again, this comes from a lot of experience, it's training too long. I'm an old school guy. I've been doing this since the 80s. All right, so what does that mean? That means 2-hour workouts, 2.5-hour workouts. That's what I was accustomed to for years. All right, but as fitness and health and weight training evolved, more studies started coming out, then you start realizing, you know what? I'm doing way too much volume and your body doesn't need that kind of volume. Now, keep in mind, that's for a 20-year-old and 30-year-old possibly. That's too high volume for. So imagine a 40-year-old, a 50, 60, 70, or an 80-year-old. And the reason I say 80 is because I am working with 2 80-year-old men in my one-on-one coaching program now. And they are phenomenal. They will blow your mind with what they can do as far as their work capacity, their dedication and drive, and just the overall mobility in their joints. Why are they like that? Because they've been working out for a while. So that's one of the huge benefits to doing things safely and correctly. All right, so all of that being said, getting back into training too long, what is too long? If your workouts are an hour plus, your workouts are too long. Typically 35 minutes to 45 minutes is great for high intensity workouts. If you're working out beyond that 45-minute mark, guess what usually happens? The intensity is a lot lower. If you're not able to put that same intensity in, then you're not gonna get the full benefits. And again, keep in mind, there's gonna be some beginners that are watching this video, some intermediate lifters that are watching this video, and even some advanced men watching this video. So a lot of it depends on your workout history. If you've been working out like I have since 1987 or 30 plus years of training, then you know a lot about your body and you realize you don't need near as much volume. I've already maxed out my potential. All right, so I know I'm never going to exceed my potential, so now I can lower the volume. If you're a younger guy, 40, 45, you're just new to training, there's something called newbie gains. So you're in luck. If you haven't trained before and you're new in your 40s, you can still get some really good lean muscle growth. So that's a really cool benefit, but it also isn't gonna require very much volume. So that basically means 45 minutes, get in, get out, rest periods between 60 seconds to 2 minutes max, and just make sure you're working out to stimulate the muscle. And you don't want to overstimulate it and annihilate the muscle because it's really hard to recover when you work out too long and too hard. Initially you feel great, but then eventually you're going to hit that wall and you're going to lose motivation. You're not going to be encouraged to work out anymore, and it just sets you back. It can even lead to injury, which can set you a long ways back. All right, so now let's move on to tip number 2, and that's going at it alone. And I'm gonna say this as someone that has been a trainer, someone that has hired a trainer, and someone who still works with a lot of clients. And basically, it's hard to do it on your own, especially if your close surrounding family members and friends aren't 100% supporting you or doing it with you. That makes it even worse. Nothing worse than having your best buddy or your spouse ordering that cheeseburger and fries and you're over there having to get a salad and a lean piece of chicken. That can make it very difficult. So one of the best ways to add some accountability is through coaching. And if you're not aware of my one-on-one coaching, I've got an Alpha Maker project, or my AMP program, and it's created specifically for men like you. 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and like I mentioned earlier, I have 2 men that are 80 years old. So several in their mid-70s even. So it's never too late to get started, and it's definitely not too late for you, but it makes a big difference. For instance, my coaching program, I do everything for you as far as the weight training workouts, the nutrition plan, the cardio plan you get based on your specific and unique situation. Send you a PAR-Q, you give it back to me, be very detailed, telling me everything that has gone on in your life, how long you've been working out, are you taking medications? You give me everything and I will design an amazing program for you. Then I also monitor you and make sure things are being done correctly, and you get invited into a huge group of other like-minded men. Some of these guys have been with me over 2.5 years ago, and that's when I first created this program. So they are still with me. People don't stay if they're not seeing results, so keep that in mind. So you will be included in this amazing group, and you can visit with these guys. What did they do to stay motivated? And you can motivate each other, encourage each other, and it just helps when you have somebody not only give you what you need to do, but have others going along doing some of the similar things that you are, even with the same type of life issues. All right, because life hits hard, especially when you get older. There's a lot of things that can possibly be going on in your life right now that prevent you from taking care of yourself and focusing on your health, which is my main goal with this program. All right, so that's the number 2 tip, which was a long tip. I just really wanted you to understand how valuable that is. That accountability component that comes with that makes a massive difference. All right, now the number 3 overall tip, this is completely different. It's neglecting your legs. I can't tell you how many excuses I've heard from men. Old football injury, old basketball injury, oh, I've got a torn meniscus, I've got a bad knee, I've got a bad low back. And they want to do all the fun exercises. Let's do some bench pressing and some arm curls. But I can't really touch my legs. I got too many issues. Well, you need to strengthen the muscles around all of those issues. That's going to help you feel better. So you want to really work on strengthening those legs. So when you come into my program, or if you're just doing someone else's program, make sure there's a smart, structured way for you to be working your legs. The reason I say smart, if you do have any of those issues, you don't need to be loading up on barbell back squats. So there's a lot of alternatives to doing those, a lot of amazing exercises you can do to really maximize your leg strength and growth. The reason I say strength first is because that's one of the biggest issues for older men. Their leg strength gives out. And I remember going back, I'm gonna get on this topic real quick. My papa in his mid-80s, finally getting to that point to where he would sit so much and it was hard to get up out of the chair. All right, so ended up having to get one of those that got him out. It lifted him hydraulically, and I hated that for him. Especially, like I say, I'm working with 80-year-old men now who are doing leg presses and doing all these other exercises, and they're moving. So you can keep yourself strong so you don't have to face any of those issues when you get extremely old, or just face those issues if you're alone. That makes a big difference if you need help getting up from somewhere. All right, that's all of that number 3 tip. Number 4, and we'll wrap this up, is not doing mobility work. You gotta do your mobility work. So what is mobility? If you have tight hips, if you have tight shoulders, you want to move those. Increase that range of motion movement. And you want to do some mobility drills, some mobility exercises. We've got a few different videos on our channel, show you how to do all kinds of really cool mobility stretches and exercises. So make sure you go and check those out. But mobility is crucial. Again, you want to make sure you can move optimally. All right, there's some men that can't even lift their arms up over their head. So you want to be able to move your shoulders. Very versatile joint your shoulders are. So you want to have good mobility in your shoulders and even your hips. So you'll notice if you got really tight hips, you can't squat down very far. If you're sitting down, it's hard for you to get back up. So just little things like that, loosening up those hip joints, increase that range of motion and mobility and flexibility. That's going to make a massive difference. But all right, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure if you are interested in my one-on-one coaching program, or if you just want to know a little bit more details about it, make sure you click on the link in the description box below this video. There's a link to the application page, and it will give you a lot of details. You and I can get on a phone call together, determine if we're a good fit for one another. And with that said, I look forward to hearing from you. And as always, thank you for watching this video. Get busy, get after it, and God bless.